Hello everyone, welcome to the fresh episode of Cozy Conversations, and I'm really nervous today because this is my first outdoor shoot ever since the lockdown has been eased. And today I would like to introduce you to a very special guest. Rishabh has been a business student and he was handling his father's business all these years, but suddenly he realized that his passion lays in culinary arts, and now he's more inclined towards cooking. And I think this is something very unconventional given the background that we come from. Like, given that in our society there's still a stereotype that exists which categorizes a job as a man's job or a woman's job. So doing something unconventional like this, I think takes a lot of guts. And I think I'm so inspired by you, given the courage that you've shown in doing whatever you do. And I think this would be a very interesting conversation for our audience as well, who are in the process or who are thinking about making a career transition but are scared to do so. So I think they can also take an inspiration from Risha. So yeah, I'll start my question. So, there's always a category that this is a man's job, this is a woman's job, and this is something that has been like there since a very long time. And when it comes to cooking or when it comes to culinary arts, people usually associate it as a feminine job. At least that's what I've seen. So you took this decision to break the stereotypes, and then you're a person who's like very inclined towards culinary arts and cooking. So how did you come to this decision, and how did that process look like?
Honestly, I don't really agree with the fact that this is a man's job and this is a woman's job. For example, back maybe 500 years, during the days of the Rajputs in Rajasthan, there used to be two kitchens in their households. One was for the men and the other was for the women. Whatever food was offered to the gods, that was made by the women. And anything which was non-vegetarian in nature or not sattvic in nature was prepared by the men. So there has always been a very interest into cooking from both the sides of the genders. For example, even today, some of the best chefs in the world are men. Even today, when I look at the hotels and the restaurants, the majority of the people who are cooking the food are men. I would in fact say that women are not given opportunities in the professional kitchen. What you mean is, when in our homes, we have always seen that our moms prepare the food and the men go to work. So I think that is the thing we have to change the stereotypes about, because I don't really think this profession is female dominated. It is a very much male dominated profession.
But in our regular lives, we see that our moms are the ones who prepare food for us in the kitchen, and our dads are the ones who are seen as bread and butter earners. Like, this is something which is very conventional. So were there any challenges that you faced when you took this decision?
Honestly, this was not a snap decision for me. This has been in the making since about 7 or 8 years. So I was in Bangalore, I started cooking out of necessity. I slowly got curious about it, and then I went into it in a much more deeper way. And over these years, I just took it as a hobby. I never really thought it to be my life's calling, if you will. But then it was a very gradual pace for my family, because I didn't just come home one day and said I'll be a chef. I came back from Bangalore. On the weekends I used to make something. My mom used to help me out, and then it went on from there. Slowly it became an obsession, and then when I came to the realization that I want to do this for a living, it wasn't as big of a shock in my house. So I don't really think it applies to me.
So how did you manage your family's expectations? As like you already stated that it was not a big shock for them. So how did that process of managing your family expectations look like? Like, what were the things that you took care of so that this decision did not come out as a shock to them?
So last year I started to get this insect inside me which said that I need to do this for a living. So I thought about it myself for about 6 or 8 months. I really, without telling anyone else, I just did some research into the colleges, what kind of life I would be looking at, and what the future would spell out for me if I really went into this profession. Now, regarding my family, they are one of the most open-minded bunch you will find in my society. Like in any society, they are very open to change. So when I told my dad about it, I remember it was in China, and he had his reservations. He was quite shocked. Why is he saying these things? And somewhere on the other, he felt that have I not given something which he needs? But then it was up to me to tell him that business is there. It will always be there. But then this is something which I think should be worth exploring, because I don't want to go 20 years, 30 years, and then think I should have done that, because I'm not a person who can really hold regrets. So I gradually explained to them that this is what I feel like doing. This is where my mind is always. When I go home, when I come back from home, or when I go to the office, the only thing I'm thinking about is what is the next dish I might be preparing next, what are the things I want to use. When I'm dealing with customers, I really could never focus completely on the task at hand. There was always something or the other going behind my mind about what is this next thing, how do I use this ingredient, how do I incorporate this into this, how do I change this dish into this. So eventually my family could see that he is a bit more into this than a hobby, and he might someday come and drop this bomb that he's going to do this. But then it was very back in their mind. They did not really consider it as a possibility that he will do this. But then that's where they change their minds.
So I think one very important learning that I take from Rishabh's answer is that you also need to be very proactive. Like you had been very proactive when it came to cooking. So he did cook on weekends, and your family could see that okay, this person is interested in this, and because he was very proactive, it was not something that came as a shock. So sometimes what happens with us humans is that we forget to become proactive about things that we like. We just think about it in our heads, but then we forget to take steps ourselves. And I think that is the thing that keeps people from pursuing their passion. So as you already stated that you did this as a hobby, like in Bangalore you started cooking, and that is something that you did out of necessity, and then slowly you realized that you were really enjoying the process. So how did you come to the decision, okay, that this has to be done, like as a source of earning for you? Like how did you decide to choose cooking over like taking care of your family business? Because making that career transition could have been accompanied with a lot of uncertainty. So how did you come to that decision?
It was a very complex decision leaving the family business behind. Like I had to consider things like my dad is getting of age, and down the line a few years he might not be able to continue on how he is doing it today. And then the other things I considered was, will my new choice really give me a living? Because just liking it is not really an option. It needs to give you bread and butter. It needs to be able to feed your family. So I considered all those factors, and then it was really over time. It just answered itself out. I did not really have to think over it too much. Things really unraveled themselves. And the thing is, what I would say is, you just need to take a step in that direction, and then you will see things work out how they're supposed to be.
So I think that again reinforces my belief in the universe, because I too am a person who believes that if you really take that step towards what you really want to do, then the universe will find out a way to push you forward. And this is something, and I think that's how I also started my podcast, because this is something that I've always thought of doing, but then I just took that step, and I think things started falling into place, and things happened. So I think trusting the universe and trusting a bigger power out there is also very important when you take a decision that could bring a lot of uncertainty. So when people make career transitions, sometimes like I have come across people who are very scared of being mocked or teased by their loved ones, or by their relatives, or by some distant people, like for their career transition. So did you also have that fear?
I guess you could say that, like for example, when I started talking to people about it, I'm very lucky in this perspective. Almost all of my friends were actually happy hearing about it. They were like, we always knew that. Why? The only question we had is, why are you not doing this? And then regarding the family point of things, the only reservation they had was, will it be able to sustain me for my future? Like, they know me to be a very ambitious person with very expensive taste, and they were like, will you be able to keep that lifestyle intact with that? So what you have to know is, if you love something so much that you are willing to cut back on those things for a while, because nobody is a runaway success in the first 2 or 3 years. It takes time. You need to build yourself over that. There is a certain maturity. Now in this particular profession, it takes about 15 years for a chef to completely mature and maybe pursue something of his own. That is the industry average. So there were reservations. People used to tell me, "Bawarchi banega." So that was not my problem, honestly. That was their problem because they were the one who did not really respect their wishes, respect the profession as it is. Because it is not just about bawarchi banega. It is the act of cooking is an act of love. You find all these things which are completely unrelated. You put them in a pan, you put them in an oven, and they come out something so beautiful. They don't think about things like throughout their life, everything has changed, but then that food has never changed. That is something they do every day, 3 times a day, and that is what is sustaining them. And if somebody wants to really focus on to it and make things better, change things into it, which he wants to do in his way, then I don't see why they could not understand it. It is something, it is, all professions are eventually, you could put a bad word on anything. Michael Schumacher is a race car driver. There you might find people who will say, "Oh, driver hai." What is the point? It is your viewpoint on how proud you are of the things you do. That is very important because if you are not confident about things which you like to do, then people will always pull you down. There will always be in any field you go, people will always pull you down. Even business, for example, there are people who say "banya" as a very derogatory slang word, but then it does not pull us down because we know what it is. We are proud of it. So you need to be proud of what you do and how you do it.
So I think the major learning that I take from Rishabh's answer here is self-confidence, because he was so proud about what he was doing and he was so confident about what he wanted to do that what other people said or what other distant people said never really mattered to him that much. I think many a times we forget to be confident about our own decisions. So it's very important to feel confident about your own decisions, and it's also very important to surround yourself with people who love you. Like, because in Rishabh's case also, his friends were really supportive of him, and then they were like, "Why did you start this so late?" So I think surrounding yourself with some supportive people, I think that goes a very long way. So that again is a very interesting answer. So now that you are into culinary arts, are there any challenges? Are there any special experiences that you'd like to share with us?
Honestly, this is a very challenging profession to be in. The working hours are huge. Like there are almost 18-hour workdays, and there will always be someone who is better than you. Always, even for the best chefs in the world, they will look at somebody and they will be like, "Why can't I be like that?" There is intense competition. Like if you go to a restaurant and look for some internships, even for free, they will give you a list where you are 110, 115 to be on that position. So it's really about dedication and motivation. You need to be very motivated. Even if you have a single iota of doubt, or if you get lazy for even a minute, you will be out of the competition. You need to be proactive, you need to work hard. This is one of the professions which defines working hard. Because the working conditions are extremely difficult, and it is not everybody's cup of tea physically and mentally to really go through it. And even I don't know if I can do it or not. I've just started, it's been about a year or so. I will find out eventually, but right now I'm having fun.
Okay, so that I think again is very interesting to look at things from a chef's perspective. So yeah, now that you began your journey, the lockdown somehow came in between, and it might have left you feeling like stuck, because at many points in time, like I've come across people who said that, okay, I was making this transition and suddenly this lockdown and everything's gotten stuck. So how are you dealing with this, and did that rise any sort of discomfort in you, like, okay, why this suddenly?
When I came back because of the lockdown, so I was really disappointed for a week or two. I wouldn't say depressed, but then I was upset about it because things were looking great and suddenly everything went to a stop. So eventually I realized that I cannot just waste my time. Okay, it's fine, my colleges are closed, my education is stuck, I cannot really go and work anywhere. So why not work on building my skills? Because I won't really get the time to be in the kitchen for 3 months at a stretch. So these 3 months I downloaded some extra courses. I learned how to make things which I never really did. I never really thought about making bread. It was something which was like you always buy ready-made. But then this time I realized that homemade is much more better than the store-bought stuff. So I really focused on building more skills, like what I can add right now, because wasting these 3 months is not really an option, and time is against me right now given my age. So I started looking at courses. I've downloaded certain courses, I've completed a lot of them, and what I'm hoping for is by the time this ends, I will be in a better marketable position than I was before.
So So I think time is what you make out of it. That again is very well proved by Rishabh, because he is utilizing time in order to upgrade his skills rather than lamenting about, okay, what has happened, now the lockdown is here, so what should I do? I think he found ways to upgrade his skills. So yeah, you studied something completely different. I think you did your bachelor's in business administration, if I'm not wrong, and now you're into culinary arts. So your education is something completely different from what you're doing, and I think that is a question that so many people get, because even I am more onto mass communication and emotional intelligence, but I am studying a course called BBA, and then people know like, why BBA and then why journalism or why mass communication, like where did this come from? So have you also experienced situations like that, and how does that make you feel?
Honestly, it doesn't make me feel anything. I have a business background from the family point of view, so it is natural for me that I did bachelor's in business and then master's in business, and then I joined my family business for a few years. But then what my dad tells me is nothing has gone to waste. Even let's assume you went to the culinary arts and then you complete that course. Doesn't mean that the other courses you have done is not valuable. Like, even if you build a restaurant, you will have to find a way to sell it. You will have to find a way to get customers. You will have to do accounts. So everything goes in tandem, and in any field, nothing is wasted. Everything is always interlinked. Because even in today's world, for example, a restaurant, you need mass communicators for them. Almost all restaurants have their own Instagram, Facebook handles. They have their YouTube channels. They have their own lines of communication. They need business people to look after the account, to look after the procurement. They need creative people for the ambience, and they need the chefs themselves for the food. So it is never really just a chef and a restaurant. There are a lot of things go into everything. So I don't really think it makes me feel like anything. Actually, it makes me feel more comfortable, because I know when I do get onto a restaurant, there won't be any shocks or surprises from the business point of view. That is the case with a lot of restaurants. People just get into it, and then they realize that there is a whole different aspect than food, and they can't really cope up with it. That is why restaurants are also an industry which have one of the biggest failing rates. Almost 8 in 10 restaurants fail after 1.5 years in business.
So doesn't that make you feel scared?
Everything does, honest. Like, if you look at it, everywhere there is certain amount of risk. And what I told you before, you need to be confident, you need to be proud of what you do, and you just need to work hard. Everything will come, and it's all about your luck. Like, eventually, everybody gets what they want. That's what I believe in. At least, if I deserve something, I will get it. Maybe not now, maybe not 2 years later, but then if I keep working on it, if I need it that bad, I will get it. I'm not one to just shy away from it.
So if you want something, you be a go-getter, you go out there in the market and get it for yourself. So for all the people who are making a career transition, what is one advice that you would like to give them?
One thing I would say is you need to know what you are doing, and you need to look at the period you will be learning and how you will sustain yourself during that time, because that is very important. You need to feed yourself while you go out and get the experiences required. And the other thing is, you should really know if that is what you want. Just on a whim, if you go and change your career, you will be destroying your life. That is something I have really thought about. And if there is something which you completely are obsessed about it, and you just can't stop thinking about it, that is something which you will even take. You will be willing to cut back on your lifestyle. You will be willing to cut back on everything else you own, and then still be happy about. Then you should think about the career change, because that is when you know that is something you really want, and that will pay for you. That I can guarantee. If you love something really that much and you are working towards it, you will get what you want. But you need to have that drive and motivation.
So I think what you said really brings me to a quote which I studied, which I read in this book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. So I think in that book there's this quote which stated that you need to determine what are the struggles that you're wanting to have in your life. So I think that again is very important. You need to determine what struggles do you want in life to make sure that you're taking the right decisions. Thank you so much, Rishabh, for being a part of this conversation today. And I really hope my audience enjoyed this. So in the next videocast episode, I'm going to talk about a topic which is very close to my heart. So it's going to be something around body shaming and I'll not reveal the whole thing, but then yeah, that's what the conversation is going to be about. So please tune into my channel to also take a look at that video. And if you like this video, please like, share and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much guys.